Hello, Elizabeth Hodge. Hey, Branson.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well.
Oh, great. Just in general, this is always the link to our classes. It stays the same.
Okay, so it's just your personal
Hello,
room.
how's everybody?
Oh, real good. Hey, I actually have it for Accelerate Rural because I wasn't allowed to use ECU stuff since I didn't have ECU students. So we went ahead and set up a Zoom account.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. What's going on, Branson? How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Just been working with my Google business account and trying to get it more intricate and working on clothes to promote the brand and what I do. So been just promoting and working in design in the last few days.
Oh, good. Do you know Warren? Have you met him before?
Warren,
The guy who's going to speak today.
I don't think so.
He is like the man with Google. He's a Google partner, and he really knows how to do it. So I encourage you to reach out to him and chat with him because he'll help you without charging you up to a certain extent. And then in our last class, just about every company hired him to help them because it just works like crazy. So just something to know. He started with Grover Gaming. He was their first marketing guy at Grover. He was only 18 years old.
Well, I try to get a job selling music at Grover Gaming.
Oh, wow.
They never call me back though, but you know, that's how the business goes, but I tried.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have to just go sit in their lobby, I think. I don't know.
Branson, what is your business?
I'm a digital media content creator, and so I grew up. I started doing hip hop around here in the teens and the '90s. So I produce, record, and help youth take their talents, keep them off the street, and show them how to turn it into a business, which turned into me having podcasts, radio, digital radio stations, and just doing a lot of business within the urban market as an influencer from my position.
Well, that sounds exciting. And it sounds like you're still setting up some of those connections in terms of a website, or do you already have that established?
I have websites established, and now what we're doing is basically my biggest thing is turning everything into profit on the advertising end, because like we have a digital radio station, we have an all gospel urban hip hop radio station with clean music, and then we have a radio station that plays nothing but local Eastern Carolina artists. So now we're trying to get it to the place where we're getting an influx of advertising from the local community and local businesses.
Oh, that's great. Well, if you get a chance, put it into the chat. I'd love to take a look at it. And just so you know, I'm a faculty member here at ECU, and just was sitting in today just to listen in, but would love to check out what you've developed.
Okay, thank you. I will do that.
Branson, she is way too modest. She's a big shot. She works in innovation, works with the Honors College, really smart, and also knows how to drive an ATV and a four-wheel drive pickup. So there you go. Yeah,
That's my hidden talent, right? The ATV driving.
We were at a place the other not too long ago, and the guy who was doing this said, "Hey, we're going to take ATVs around the farm," And I looked at that thing. I had never been on one in my life, right? And the other guy that was with us, same. And Elizabeth spoke up and said, "Oh man, piece of cake." And so we moved aside, and she hopped in. I think she even had cowboy boots on. I'm not sure, but if she didn't, she should have. And off we went into the wild blue yonder. It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. That's what you get when you have two boys that you raise in North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm still talking about it to my wife. I just can't get over it. It's like Superwoman takes off her, her unassuming outfit and, becomes a super ATV driver and everything else. When we went through a creek with just our snorkel above the water, that really was impressive. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I felt like I was in a Chuck Norris movie or something,
Oh, you're cracking me up. I only wish it was that exciting.
I'm giving her some grief, but we're really happy you're here, Elizabeth, and I hope you enjoy it. I see my buddy Philippe here. Philippe, how are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. Good to be
All right.
here.
Yeah, good to see you. Do you know Warren, Philippe, by any chance?
Yeah, absolutely. We are friends. Once in a while, I go to his office, and I'm here to kind of support what's going on and also hear more about SEO.
Oh, fantastic. Philippe's team won the Pirate Challenge last time, I believe. Actually won it the year before also. I think you win every year, don't you, Philippe?
No.
You're on a roll, buddy. Yeah, but Philippe is a full stack software developer and a really nice guy on top of all that.
Thank you. You're really good with words. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, we're still waiting for our speaker. Hopefully he has the right. Okay. Well, I'm going to give him a quick call and make sure. This is something that we run into quite often. So let's see if I can call Warren. Warren had so much business backed up that he was like fighting them off to get so he could come on to our presentation. So he'll be with us in a minute. So if I could sing or dance, I would do that, and I can't, so I won't. But if anyone here wants to perform or tell a story or anything while we're waiting, please do. Someone's tapping at least. There we go. All right. So I'll start a little bit on Warren, just so you guys get a little bit of background. So Warren has a company called the Clickfirm, and I don't know if he has any partners or not, but they work with companies, particularly with their SEO, which is search engine optimization, or really Google optimization is what it amounts to. And he works with quite a range of companies in Greenville and surrounding area. Hopefully he'll tell us the story of his grandparents who do not have a website and how he quadrupled the business that they had outside on the outskirts of Greenville by using one of the Google tools. It's always a nice story. And he works with a lot of the companies that have been in this program. Like Simple and Sentimental is one of his clients that he's done a lot of work with. And, I would argue very successfully have raised the traffic that goes to Simple and Sentimental. There are other reasons why also, but Simple and Sentimental is, they're in about, I don't know, depending on how you look at it, roughly 2 years that they've been going full time. Before that, they were students at ECU, I think, for a couple of years. But as an organization, I believe they're up to 18 full-time employees. And they have just bought a building, I believe, in Winterville. So they have their own building, and they've got, I think, a fair amount of manufacturing equipment for their personalized stuff that they do. Like things for weddings and brides and all that kind of thing that I know nothing about. But they've done really well, and I believe I don't know if they're selling internationally or not. I think they are, at least somewhat, but I know they're selling it in all 50 states in the United States. And Taylor and her husband, I believe this is their second year out of school, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a really fast ramp in an area that really hasn't, I don't think, has really seen that kind of growth out of a .com business, although I guess it's becoming more of a physical business with this purchase of this building and so forth. Anyway.
It's amazing to hear the growth since she first participated in the Pirate Entrepreneurship Challenge. Just amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And it really shows you, to my way of thinking anyway, these digital businesses have the potential to be really impactful in these communities. That a company like hers, it really unheard of a generation ago that you would have an organization that would basically, with almost no money, end up hiring 18 to 20 full-time employees from a person that's probably 23 years old in the Greenville area. I doubt, well, there's certainly stories. I'm not going to say it's never been done, but it's certainly rare. And I think that it really points out that a lot of our rural areas can in fact benefit from supporting these kinds of businesses, this kind of, you know, small rural area, actually doing business, if not nationally, then internationally. I know there's another company I don't know if Warren works with, but it's a company called Copper Ashes. Some of you might be familiar with.
I bought from them too.
Oh, cool.
I bought from, I think every pirate entrepreneurship group.
Oh,
I've probably purchased something from them.
I try to, but my wife yells at me. She says, "Why are you buying all this stuff? We don't need it." But anyway, I think that she, in her case, the last I talked to her, she was hiring 2 full-time people. She was also looking for space. I don't know that she's going to buy the space. I think maybe more likely rent it or lease it. But she has sold in all 50 states and 8 countries, is my understanding. So it's kind of cool. Let's see if this is, in fact, let's see here, sorry. See if we can do this here. Okay. Well, I don't know where Warren is, so I'll call him again. Excuse me just for 1 second. He said he was coming right on.
So for me,
Hello.
and I'll just turn on
I'm
my
here.
video quickly. Many of you are familiar faces from whether you participated in I-Corps or Pirate Entrepreneurship Challenge. I'm assuming that you're at various stages in the business startup. Is that right?
Yeah, some are startups, some have been around for a while. Kind of some are pivoting from other things. You know, Warren, I'm not seeing you on my list. Are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you. Are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just spinning the wheel on my computer right now, and then I've tried like 3 times. So I called in from the phone. It looks like it's working now.
I can hear you, but I can't make you the guest host so that people can see you. So I
Okay.
guess we'll just go with your icon.
Try it. It says connecting.
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me just see
Do
here.
you see anything trying to connect on the internet end, or?
No, I don't. I just see your phone number and you're listed as guest and the little phone icon. And normally I click on the name and then I can make you co-host, but it doesn't give me that
Right.
option. Only option it gives me is put in waiting room, remove or report.
Yeah.
Now, why don't you just go ahead if you want? Oh, here you are. You're here.
Do you see something?
It says you're joining.
That's a good sign. It's still just showing a spinning wheel on my end.
We need Google Meet or something, right?
I know, right? It
I'm
seems
gonna make you co-host. Here you go.
okay, all right.
There you go. All right, Warren.
All right. Cool. But you can still hear my audio, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Good. Okay. So we have Philippe here. How you doing, man?
All right.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good. Good. And Dennis, sorry guys, I was late. I'm not sure what's been going on. I was trying to connect and it was spinning the wheel for 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah.
But anyways, since we're behind,
Welcome to Greenville
I was
Internet.
gonna say, since we're behind, oh, I'm in Washington Internet. It's even worse.
Okay.
I guess since we're behind, we'll go pretty quick. I see some people in Accelerate Roll. We have Rachel Miller, Doug Thomas, and a whole crew.
Yeah.
Maybe if Dennis, if you don't mind, kind of telling me the general crowd we're working with. I know last time we had a lot of farmers and stuff like that. Is it a similar crowd, or do we have stuff across the board?
It's quite different. This is a little bit more, I would argue, Greenville oriented. We've got More in the way of we have a clothing brand, we have a digital content producer, a disc jockey, a digital radio.
Okay.
We've got martial arts stuff. We've got we do have we have a pecan farmer, and we have Rachel Miller and Dan Miller they got so many businesses I can't quite sure what they are, but they're out in Salt. They're big time. They do a lot of stuff. And we have a retailer from Kinston. Just looking through
Okay.
that's kind of what we got.
All right, good deal. So it sounds like a lot of businesses that pretty much drive a lot of their traffic from a local situation, whether it's the retailers. Other than the clothing brand, I guess, if whoever has the clothing brand, could they maybe tell me, do they plan to drive more of their sales online, or is it also local? Because that could almost narrow us down a little bit.
Yeah, that's Quandale.
Hello,
Yeah.
this is me. Please forgive me. I am driving. I have to have a windshield replaced, and I am in a tailspin here, but I can't communicate. Yes,
Okay.
I am presently 100% drop shipping through Shopify and Printful.
Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely could learn more about SEO and Google Ads, and just driving that
Right.
marketing piece.
All right, good deal. Is
And
there
I will-
anybody who has go ahead?
I would like to know, with my music and digital content, we're doing creation of
Mhm.
T-shirts for the artists locally and for the different
Okay.
music that go along with the T-shirts and vice versa. So I would like to know that part of
Okay.
the business also.
All right. While we have some questions going, is there anyone who has other questions that I guess maybe if you kind of know
We're
what
going to
I'm in-
be utilizing a marketplace, a shared shopping interface, and a delivery
Okay.
app.
delivery app. Okay, so local as well.
Yes.
All
Regional.
right.
Yes.
Regional, yeah. So this is, with our little technical difficulties here, I think it's presenting some difficulties. It could really just be my internet. Anyways, but locally, something that's really important. I don't know how many of you guys would have this set up, but I kind of went on quite a bit about it with the farming crew. This may not be as prevalent with you guys, but with Google My Business, that's one of, when you think about search engine optimization as a whole, your goal when trying to do search engine optimization is to have a prime placement within the search engine when someone's searching for a business, service, or product that you provide. So you can break that down into a couple different ways. Right now, the way most businesses drive traffic locally through a search engine is you'll search the business name or something to do with that business, and you'll kind of see something that pops up that shows that business on Google Maps. Within Google Maps, or within the Google My Business sort of ecosystem or sphere of influence, that's all coming from their Google My Business page. This page is something that you as a business owner can edit, update, moderate, put pictures on, reviews, anything on, and that will actually increase your likelihood of showing up within that map. So if we want to show up in search results locally, the best way to do that is with that Google My Business tool, because that's almost a surefire way for you to show up. The big misconception with Google My Business is that most business owners will just set it up and then they never look at it again because they go, oh, I've already done that, don't worry about it. And then they'll spend every week trying to post something on Facebook or on Instagram because they think that that crowd is going to drive them some sort of traffic and stuff through social media, whether it's their friends or someone else. The problem with that is that Google My Business is actually more of a social media than you would think. You can add posts on there. You can do weekly specials. You can add different service types that you provide. When you finish a job with a customer, you could add pictures. I have a lot of businesses like roofing companies and of the such that we recommend them posting like before and after pictures of all the homes that they're doing. And because that lets Google know that you're an active participant in your business, not only in the real world when they see that you're getting reviews, but also online, and that you're willing to work within their ecosystem. And if there's anything you can do to earn street cred from, I guess, can you still hear me? It disconnected the video.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Well, anyways, it will give you what I kind of call street cred with Google. And the more stuff that you can do to garner street cred with Google, whether it's posting, getting those reviews, posting specials, discounts, or anything within the Google My Business system, I encourage you to do it. And the easiest way to do that is with the Google My Business app. So if any of you who might have a location or provide a service within an area, even if it's not a location that someone can drive to or visit, I encourage you to download that app, update everything on your Google My Business, put new pictures on it, and then update promotions or anything else that you might have going on. And looks like we're back, going on with your business. So that is a question or a bit of advice that I give to every business owner when we first start working with them, is like, let's go for the low-hanging fruit. This is something that's easy, it's inexpensive, it's free for you to do, and it's going to give you the best results. And so does anyone kind of have any questions about like the Google My Business, or has anyone tried it, succeeded, failed, seen results from it, thought it didn't do anything for them, anything like that?
Can I ask you a question, Warren, just so I understand the kind of line between the different products? This product is really for some people who have a physical location, no? Okay.
I use it, and I get maybe 60% of my business that comes from outside of Pitt County, comes from that. Most of my calls that come from like New York and LA, because basically in Google My Business, it comes up as my services all over Pitt County. So because and I don't have a physical building now, so I still use it, and I don't have a physical building.
Yeah, so that's he's using it in kind of the way I would suggest some of these entrepreneurs use it, is you actually can define it as a service area and not a physical address. And it's not as effective because when you have that address, it shows like a pin on the map or something. But a workaround for that would be to work with Seed, or work with like the Uptown Nucleus building, and find some sort of address that you can pay for, or some sort of address that you can use to sign up and actually get a pin on a map in an area where you provide that service. So yeah, Dennis, does that kind of answer your question? Or?
Yeah, it does. The other thing you said that I thought was, is this free, this service?
Yeah, everything's free on it, and your exposure, for example, my grandparents run a small hunting supply store.
My favorite story. Go for it.
Yeah, and a small hunting supply store run by an 80-year-old man, and he, for years, business was kind of declining, and he never showed up on Google. And it's kind of this video that I would play from Google of the small rural business that is just struggling to beat big box stores. And we just implemented everything by the book, sort of added Google My Business, updated pictures, downloaded the app on my grandmother's phone. She started posting pictures on it, and now they receive over like 2,000 views a month on their Google My Business. It's showing their location on Google Maps to people in Virginia and South Carolina for searching things like gun dog supply or hunting supply. And this full year round, they had more sales in the last 3 months, or the last holiday season that they did it, than they did the entire year before. And it's because if someone was searching dog collars or hunting supplies, instead of it showing a Gander Mountain or a big box store, it was saying, hey, here's a local shop. They're active on Google My Business. They have, 20 to 40 positive reviews. They're constantly posting new products. So that is a small example of a little bit different than the people who are in this class, but how you could completely turn your business around with a free tool that you don't need a big marketing company. You don't need to pay your son or daughter to post things on Facebook for you every day. It's most simply just letting the most trafficked thing in the world, which is Google, when someone's searching to purchase something, know that you're there. And if you're not doing that, or if the last time you posted on it was 3 years ago, you're definitely not seeing the benefit of it. And I can promise you it works, not only because it's worked with my customers, but because I've seen it work personally in my businesses and with family's businesses. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, now I heard your grandfather doesn't want to retire now because he's making so much money. Is that right?
That's right. We're trying to pry it from his hands. We launched a e-commerce store for him, and that way he knows it's at least still going.
Yeah.
So speaking a bit, I guess a good transition maybe to e-commerce. Do most of the people here either have a website already or have some sort of sales channel online?
Or want to have.
Want to have.
Yeah.
Good
Everyone
deal.
has certainly heard that religion from me, that they've got to have e-commerce. And I push Shopify usually, but I really don't care as long as they can sell online.
What's the category of business there?
Well, we have so many different ones. I'm not sure how.
I thought you were talking about a specific example of.
Oh, no. I'm saying our class in general is focused on promoting our participating companies to set up e-commerce, and a lot of our education and what we talk about is related to e-commerce, and so that's
yeah. So to give this is something that I've really dived into this year, as far as e-commerce. One, because I know Dennis knows about the Clickfirm, and I've sort of really backed away from that because of the success of our own e-commerce businesses. We have a couple running right now, and one already into the multi-million-dollar a year business, all through Shopify, and then another that in the last, I launched in March, and in 2 months has done like close to over $40,000 in sales, and that is with huge product delays and a lot of other things that we're battling in the industry of that one. So the main thing, if I was kind of to start anywhere in the spectrum when talking about SEO and e-commerce, one is, yes, Shopify is a very easy thing to use. It works for small businesses. It works for big businesses. For example, a partner of mine, he runs a business called Elite Truck Boxes. You can check that out. And on Elite Truck Boxes, he's running one of the #1 truck box sales websites in the world, and running it out of Washington, North Carolina, all through a Shopify store. And getting into it, though, for you guys who have products or services, is that you pretty much have to just start listing products, right? So you get your products on there. You have to build good product pages, have good images for your products, maybe get them professionally done or do your best to get them done. Write really good descriptions. If you do go through all the work, effort, and money to get somebody to land on your page, and then they go look at your product, you want them to have all of the information that they might need to be able to go ahead and make that purchase decision. So focus on the actual individual product pages, and don't get so caught up in how the website looks on like maybe the home page or in general. The sale kind of happens at the product page, not at the home page. The home page just kind of shows them who you are, shows them how to navigate, and then that leads them down the funnel into their sales. Once you get your website built, once you have products listed, once you're able to sell things, then you're going to want to create a Google Analytics account a Google Search Console account, and that alerts the search engine to crawl your website, and it'll also send you emails to let you know when there are things on your website that are not right. So if you were to go, if I gave you a little checklist here of accounts to go sign up for, is
we could use it.
Go sign up for Google Analytics, all right? And don't be overwhelmed or overcomplicated by it. So I frequently run into people that say, well, we don't know what to do with our analytics. We just don't understand what's going on with it. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Google Analytics may not affect how you operate your business at all. And it's probably not going to affect where you lie in the search rankings either. The only thing Google Analytics is going to do to you, you know, at first is give you some insight maybe into things like what pages are people visiting and leaving, where your traffic is coming from. Is it coming from Facebook where you're putting all your effort, or is it actually coming from your Google My Business? Because some people don't know the difference and they'll spend all their effort on one thing that isn't actually driving any sales. And when you're looking into it and getting it set up, think of it as kind of, this is a term we use with the Facebook pixel, which is seasoning the pixel. When you get these trackers installed in a site, which with Shopify is super easy, you get like a 7-digit code from Google and you copy and paste it into a little analytics page on Shopify. That will start to collect data over time. So if you sign up for Google Analytics, get it installed, and then don't look at it for 3 months, I wouldn't have any problem with that. I would tell you do that just to get it going, because then you can go look at 90 days worth of data and you're going to see how far you've come, and you're going to actually have enough visits and enough traffic to know what's going on. So don't think you're messing up anything on the search engine by not getting installed right. Just go ahead and do it. You know, there's 2 different types of analytics now. They have what's called like the G4 analytics, which is a little bit more automated thing. Just go ahead and kind of follow the steps. The second bullet of what to go sign up for would be Google Search Console. So you can just go to Google, type in Google Search Console, and there it will take you through the steps. It'll say sign up, and you'll put in your domain name. You'll verify that you're the one that owns the domain, whether that's putting a text record at your host like GoDaddy, or it could be, you know, copying and pasting some code onto a page on your site. There's a few different ways, but that will actually show you over time certain things that people are searching for your business for on Google at a high number. And you'll get email alerts and say, hey, your page was viewed on search X number of times. It's kind of like it'll give you condensed version of Google Analytics sent to your inbox. And then if you have a bunch of pages with errors, it's going to send you an alert and say, hey, you search console error, you've got 6 pages that are returning a 404 error or something on them. So it's a little bit of insurance. Like, don't overwhelm yourself with that. Like, it's not, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make or break whether or not your business is successful. A lot of people will, you know, try to find reasons or excuses. Well, we don't know how to do this or that, and that's why we haven't done it. Just start, you know, make one product, get one product on a Shopify site, and then, you know, do that first one and get it on, and then see how it goes. And if you already have one product, you know, add your second one. You know, we have a website with, you know, thousands. Today I've on one of our websites, we brought in like 300 new products, because once you get into it, once you start figuring it out, you're going to get better at it. And so that's kind of your starter package, your Google My Business, Analytics, Google Search Console. After you get those going, there's some other things. Like, I would recommend you signing up for a SEO monitoring, whether that's with a marketing company or on some SEO thing online, where you could track 10 or 20 keywords to kind of find out where you stand with the words that are most important to your business. You know, we do a weekly crawl with the software called moz.com, of our websites. And looking at a report now, I would share with you, if the internet was working, I can see that we moved up 26 spots for these 3 different keywords that are all somewhat related from this week to last week, which means Google's picked us up and they've thrown us head and shoulders above the competition all of a sudden. And what we're going to do is use that information to double down on articles and SEO things, which kind of moves us into our 3rd phase of e-commerce talk, which is how to get people to your actual website. Does anyone have any questions about like Analytics, Search Console, or Shopify?
Do you have any feel or any ranges of costs of some of these things? So just to give us a, you know, kind of a rough idea.
Yeah, so Google Analytics is free. Google Search Console is free. Shopify, you can get started for like $39 a month. There may even be $29 a month. And then
That's 29.
Moz is 29. There we go.
Yep.
It's super easy to get started. And then, you know, if you have a big business and you start selling $100,000 a month or whatever, then you're going to pick a different package for the credit card rates or whatever it happens to be. But it's super easy and cheap to get started. Another platform we use is called BigCommerce, and it's a little bit more advanced than Shopify in some ways, but it's also more complicated. So if you're trying to find the right platform for yourself, we've tried a couple, and if you want something easy that can manage a huge business, just use Shopify and don't worry about it.
Can you comment, or have you had any experience with selling directly on Instagram or Facebook or any of these social media channels? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, personally, I believe that most social media channels operate within a person's sphere of influence. Outside of the exception of a person who's, like, say you're a chef and you're making chef videos and you have 10,000 followers that watch you because you do chef videos, and then you launch a website selling seasonings. Your social media sphere of influence is interested buyers. The average person who, you know, owns or operates or is starting a new business, their sphere, their following is not going to be, you know, there might be some buyers in your following, but your following is probably not your biggest and best target market.
Yeah.
So the secret sauce, how do you turn the page from being a person who's just selling stuff to some of your friends and family, and then run a business that you're selling to people all over the world? That secret sauce exists in how you put your product in front of other people, which is, it could be TV ads, radio ads, it could be YouTube ads, Google search, it could be search ads or shopping ads, Instagram ads or Facebook ads, kind of what started this question. So kind of circling back on that tangent is that I don't believe that most people, when initially starting, can run a successful business just by selling things on Instagram and Facebook to their friends. I think that the people who are really successful with it are selling things because they've either developed an audience interested in their products, or they're selling them in like Facebook groups or some other area of an audience that's interested in it.
Yeah.
And then that step further into putting your product in front of people is when you can develop that advertising audience yourself. Like when you can go and start a Facebook ad campaign, and that Facebook ad campaign has all the data that is needed to put your product in front of people who are interested buyers. We normally are kind of how, like, some of the businesses I've started with is the easiest thing to kind of get going is actually a Google search campaign. It's text-based. There's no pictures. There's no graphics that need to be made. You can put in exactly what keywords you want your product to show up for. Pretty quickly, you're going to find out how much each click cost, and then you're going to be able to set a budget. So that's how we test things. Like I own a business called nicegrills.com. So if you went to NICE grills, GRILLS.com, you'll find like a grill website. And in that business, so when I add a new brand, so example, the refrigerators that we onboarded today, a new brand called Uline, they're expensive refrigerators. The way we'll advertise this product when we first get started with it is just through Google search ads. I'll go and create a campaign that says, when someone searches specifically for that product, like Uline 15-inch ice maker, and I'll list that down, 18-inch ice maker, 36-inch ice maker, and we'll make it specific with little parentheses around it, which you'll learn when you get it set up. And then that way I know the only money that I'm spending is money on people who are really interested in my product. So if you have a service or a product, like say you did, auto detailing, you can make a search campaign that said auto detailing or auto detailing Greenville, NC, and then you can even put the radius that it's in. So you could do it, 20 miles around Greenville, and their clicks may be about $1 to $2. You'll set, you could do $150 budget for the first month or something to try it out, and then add a phone extension on there, and you'll sell something. Someone's gonna call you, like I promise you. Someone's gonna call you, and it'll be much better money spent than trying to do Facebook ads, because with that, you're just putting it in front of people, whether or not they want detailing at that moment, which means they have to remember seeing your ad when they do want detailing. Search ads, however, work different, sort of fundamentally, because you're only advertising people who already want to buy something or are already in the market for it.
So they're further down the customer journey, right? They're not at the exploration stage or gathering information. They're actually looking to buy. So they're closer to the transaction. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and you define that for your product. Like, I know if someone searches best grills of 2021, they're not ready to buy. So I'm not going to pay for a search ad for best grills of 2021 because they don't even know what grill they want right now. So why would I pay to? I'd rather pay money for someone who's typed in Broilmaster BSG 343 stainless steel with a side burner, because that person knows exactly what they want. And that is the type of person who is already so far down the funnel. At this point, they're comparing prices and service and availability. And so that's where, when you're first getting started, you can spend your money wiser than what a lot of marketing companies may recommend you do, which is in like social media or something else. I think that posting things on social media is great if you have the time, because it is free. But I don't have a single post for Nice Grills. Like, there's not anything on Instagram, which is really not good, because people go look at that stuff to see if it's a legit business. But that's that's not to say how little I care about it, but that's like, I have a huge Google ad campaign that's selling tens of thousands of dollars of this stuff, and I've never posted on Instagram. So
that's cool.
That's kind of how sort of I feel about it. And then, so to roll this into this customer journey, though, about, you start an e-commerce site, you're listing products, you start getting traffic to the site for the products, people start buying. Remember the analytics we talked about. So all these visitors have been going to the site, and Google's been learning who's buying and who's not buying. Also, when you're connecting it to your Facebook with the Facebook tracking, Facebook's learning. You're seasoning that data over time as you're selling things. And then, once you have the budget, once you have some money, then you can start running some ads on Facebook or Instagram and start selling, because that data is going to be not as good, but is going to be very similar to that search traffic data, because Google and Facebook are going to sort that out for you. So when you set up your campaign and you say the goal of this campaign is to sell this item, it is a like a CPC, a cost per conversion type campaign, or it's a CPA, a cost per acquisition, or whatever that happens to be. Google is then going to say, well, we've seen that 10 people with the name Fred who live in Arkansas, who tend to be on their BlackBerry at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, seem to buy a grill every time. And so what they're going to do is they're going to start showing ads all over Instagram and Facebook to everyone who's named Fred in Arkansas who's on a BlackBerry at 10 a.m. Now, those Freds might have not searched for it, but they're probably so close to the other Freds that they're pretty likely to buy as well. And that is the type of marketing where when you see an ad and you say, I didn't even, like, I've been thinking about that, but I haven't talked about it with anyone. I didn't, and all of a sudden I'm seeing an ad for it. It's because there's other people like you, or one of your friends or someone you've been close to has searched it, and Google's figured out that whatever that person does, you're pretty likely to do, and they're going to show an ad to you on Instagram, whether or not you've ever looked that item up before. And so that's where you want to be at some point with your marketing when it's on social media. That's the kind of marketing that will convert at a high degree for the money that you're spending. But for me, that is actually significantly further down the journey of launching an e-commerce business than one, just getting it going, two, making sure it works really good on the phone, and then just getting some simple ads and traffic going to it. Sorry, that was a ton of information right there. But any questions about what we're at so far?
I'm the one that asked all the question. I apologize, but I feel like you're just
No
sharing
worries.
good stuff. Do you have any thoughts on our company, our participating companies, selling on Amazon or eBay or any other marketplace other than just their own website?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think anyone who's able to set up an Amazon account and manage it, or set up a eBay account and manage it and sell it at the margin they need to, it's phenomenal. There's additional fees you pay with that. So you may pay a 15% seller's fee on Amazon or something like that. But if your product has the margin in it, it's an excellent source of traffic. Each one of those platforms, whether it's Etsy, Shop, Amazon, eBay, they have their own marketing platforms within them where you can pay for ads or your products inside the systems. And those are usually pretty straightforward. You kind of just select the product and put your budget. And that's how a lot of e-commerce businesses get started. You may not even be at the Shopify stage yet. Some of you it may be best to just list some things on eBay. Amazon is tricky. It's pretty easy to get an account turned off, if you don't have the right kind of images, or you're selling the wrong kind of product, or something gets shipped and a customer complains. It's very touchy, so you definitely kind of want to be, and you're only allowed to have like one Amazon account in like your lifetime. So if you ever, are banned for whatever reason, then you can't sell on Amazon again. It hasn't happened to me, but I've had some friends that have definitely gotten some warnings and stuff, just, for something random, like they had the wrong picture for a product and like the wrong thing gets shipped or something. And then Amazon is very, very particular. eBay, not so much, but those are great places to get started, especially somewhere like Etsy if you're making a custom item, or you're making you have more personalized things. Maybe you make art or something. I would almost start there before Shopify.
Amazon has launched a new program called Amazon Small Business, and they're basically creating an Etsy-like market. So The fees are much less. It's a much less intense. It's aimed at kind of the small businesses that we work with. So I encourage everybody to take a look at that. They actually waive the monthly fee. The Amazon Pro account is $39 a month, and they waive it for companies that qualify for this program. So it's free, and you get all the Amazon tools and services and stuff. So I think it's well worth taking a look at. So
yeah, absolutely. That's I think it, if someone is getting overwhelmed with like maybe building a Shopify site, that's a great way to not really have to worry about the front end of anything and just list your products. I encourage anyone to just get started, to just go list them. Sometimes that's just the hardest part is just starting and getting things going. But you got to do it, and then you're going to learn after it gets going what works and what doesn't work. But stay up late tonight and just go ahead and list your stuff, or at least get signed up for the accounts, and that's
good start.
A lot of people will, I see it, we talk to a ton of people who, hey, I want to sell this, I want to sell that, and they've taken one or two steps, or they've like kind of done things, but they might have got some products listed but then didn't do any marketing, or to just keep on chugging along. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, one of the things I think that I've focused on in the class, tried to reiterate the need for good photos of your products, and there's quite
Absolutely.
a bit of resources that we have in our Slack channel and on our various social media, which different way. One of them is really good, is how to take product photography, or how to take product shots with your iPhone or your Android phone, which I think is really helpful. And there are some things that you can do to really make it look good. I know it's really important on both Etsy and Amazon. They make a really big deal about your pictures. And if they don't like your pictures, they'll tell you, and they have to read, because the pictures are a big driver of e-commerce. Don't you agree?
Yeah, even like Google display ads or shopping ads are just the same. We I work with Taylor at Simple and Sentimental, and we struggle with some of her ads sometimes because it's like a small item with small writing, and it might be an ornament that's on like a big Christmas tree, and a lot of these platforms don't like that, because they're like, well, is someone going to know? And to me, I'm thinking, like, how do they even, like, who's making this decision? Like, who's sitting around looking at these pictures and deciding, like, whether or not this works? But a lot of it's done automatically. Like, they have software that'll determine how much of the picture is in focus and how much of it is blurry. And even if it looks like a good picture to me and you, it can get kicked off. So
I've seen it. Yeah.
Just do your best with your iPhone in a white backdrop or a sheet, whatever you got to do to get started. Or maybe it's finding a photographer and seeing if someone for like $250 will come and take some pictures of your stuff for you. Or paint a white wall if it's art or something. Just go ahead and hang some art up and do it on that. If it's t-shirts, lay it down flat on like a white sheet. It's not super hard. Once you get a couple of them done, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I think people tend to have, it's not like they have unlimited different products. They're somewhat related often. So, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you get a little system going.
Yeah. Well,
any questions about, maybe, I know it wasn't really exact answers on like how to get started with your marketing, but.
Well, I think one thing you might want to cover before you go is, how do people engage with you? What does it normally cost to hire you? I know it depends on what the task is, but just to give them some idea.
Yeah. It's typically when I focus mostly on the SEO stuff and on managing people's Google ads, the typical management fee for Google ads is 20% of a monthly budget, with that fee minimum being around $200 a month. So you really need to spend about $1,000 a month on like Google ads. It's gotten a little bit harder for me to work with a lot of people, just because we're managing our own businesses and stuff now. Like, like Nice Girls, for example, we have other businesses similar to that we run the ads and own. But a typical, if you're looking for someone like me or other marketing companies, use that as a guide that I wouldn't pay more than about 20% of ad spend. You try to get down to 10 if you can, but you really don't want someone who knows what they're doing, because it's easy to waste money on ads. But you can do it yourself. Like, you can start on Google with $200, $300, and just run your own ads and just keep an eye on it. Like, log in every day and look at what people are searching and see if it's relevant, and either double down on it, or you can make negative keywords for the words that are not relevant. An hourly rate, typical marketing companies are somewhere between like $120 an hour to $150 an hour. For a developer, they might, that's usually the rates that they're going to base either building a website for you or doing something like that, which is why a, total web project can be, 5,000, 7,000, because if you just look at time alone that people spend on it, it's, add up between pictures and everything, which is, if you can do it yourself and use something like Squarespace or Shopify, and then once you're selling a lot, then hire someone like a year down the road. SEO services, typically, for analyzing search rankings, tracking search rankings, and, advising on that, it's usually $300 to $500, and it's sort of based on time. So basically, with that kind of service, someone's going to get monthly reporting on their rankings, a weekly kind of update on any big rank changes, and then we're going to talk, over the month about, what kind of blog articles they should focus on and stuff like that. And that, aside from Google My Business, I think for stuff that you can do for free, that people underestimate or don't realize makes a significant difference. Writing blog articles or putting together information or lists, like top 5 lists or anything like that, is significantly underrated of how powerful it is. Taylor wrote a couple articles about personalized brewmate hopsolators, and just from the effort on a couple articles, ranked higher than their corporate website for the brewmate. WorldCat Boats, a client of mine, they wrote an article 2 years ago. We kind of made articles about the features of their boat to increase their rankings faster, and we did one on why a catamaran is better in shallow water, and they ranked #1 in the world if someone searches like shallow water catamaran, and they have for 2 years, and they haven't updated the article at all. So you get a lot of, obviously some things are more competitive than others. Like, you might not be able to rank on the first page for a search like Christmas ornament, but, think of what we call a long tail keyword. Like, could you rank on the first page for like all glass red Christmas ornament for Godfathers? Like, you probably could. Like, if you, and even though that seems like a really random thing, when you really get out there and start selling, you'll realize how much people there are out there and how much they're willing to buy. So SEO and writing those articles is a huge part of any of our business. Right now with grills, like, everything's out of stock, so we haven't been pushing that. We're just kind of building out the products on the site right now. But that's the first strategy that we'll implement as far as marketing outside of search text ads, is actually putting in like 5 best Broilmaster grills or 5 best, stainless steel marine grade grills. And that's a huge part of it, because without it, we're not going to rank, and some articles won't go anywhere, but some of them will go to the top 6 of Google, and you know, you'll sell all kinds of stuff, and it didn't cost you anything but some time.
It's cool. All right. Anyone
Yeah.
else have any questions before we're going to have to go here in a minute, unfortunately. Okay. Well, Warren, thank you very much for coming on today. And if you get a chance to do your little checklist, I'll try to do it and send it to you, make sure it's right. The Google My Business, the Google Analytics, the Google Search Console, Facebook Pixel, SEO
Yeah.
monitoring, you know, kind of steps that people should be thinking about. I think that's
Absolutely.
really helpful. And because you know, we're all different and we have different objectives, but we all want it to work. And your advice
Yeah.
and your perspective is really helpful.
I'll send over the slideshow from Google. I think I presented last time, and can send updated it some. I'm
Good.
sorry I couldn't share that with you guys today. My internet's
I'll
not
get it
even
to
working
everybody.
for.
Yeah, I'll put it on our
Yeah.
Slack channel, and they'll all get it. So if you have my email address, right?
Yeah,
if you-
absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to email it to me, and then I'll post it in the Slack channel. And you are the man, Warren. We love having you help us and lead us through the forest that is all this stuff for us old people. At least that's
I don't know about that, Dennis.
I don't know, man. I was still a kid who stood on a corner and sold lemonade for 5 cents, you know, and made neighbors
Yeah.
feel bad if they didn't buy it. You know, like, hey, man, you help
Yeah.
me out, you know.
We're doing the same thing still. It's just the prices are a lot more expensive.
Right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in,
All right.
and we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Warren. Take care.
Thank you for your time.